Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a good week. I want to talk today about spells, petitions, whatever word you want to use, that's fine. We've all done prayers of some kinds, or we've petitioned God, or we've petitioned saints. Or if you're in the craft, you've cast spells and all kinds of things to try to manipulate your mundane world into getting what you want, or if you're wanting to change an outcome of something. So I've been kind of experimenting with all of this ever since I've been a member of the Rosicrucian Order, and there were times when I would do a petition. I would go to my sanctum or my altar and I would petition for something. I would ask the cosmic, as we call God, or that universal energy. I would ask for something I wanted, or if I could have an outcome be in my favor or turn out another way. And as I've gotten more experienced with it, I decided I wanted to try some things more on my own using different tools, and maybe going through different ceremonies that are different from the Rosicrucian Order. Perhaps use a grimoire that's already been out there and established. That's what I've chosen to do right now. I don't write a lot of spells on my own right now, though you can. You can do all kinds of spells or petitions for anything you want, from mundane to more spiritual, for healing. You can do it for large groups, anything you want. You can write your own rituals, write your own spells. You can use a grimoire that's established. You can use old tomes or books. You can use some that have been adapted, which I have done. I use one particular collection that's basically more simple and doesn't really require a lot of the tools or any fancy fluff. So that's one thing to do with that, is how do you want to do this? Do you want your spell to be following a certain set of steps? Do you want to write your own? Anything like that you want to do is fine. So if you write your own, you can be as creative with it as you want. If you choose something from a collection of grimoires or other teachings, you want to follow those steps. You want to follow the instructions they give you. And in my case, I pick a spell that works. You want to create a spell or find one that works for you. Or you want to set up your petition in a way that is appropriate for your use. For example, I had trouble getting a deck built, and we called several people. Some people didn't answer, some people came and gave a quote or an estimate, and they never showed up. Finally, I said, I've had enough. My deck's about to fall off. I need a new one. So I did a spell for one, or a petition for one. I went through all my grimoire collections, and there was no build my deck spell. So I had to choose something that kind of fit. That was a little hard to do, but I did find one that was for being the object of someone's generosity. And that worked. It fit. I thought, that's what I need. I need to be the object of someone's generosity. I need someone who's going to give me their time, their skill, their labor, everything. And the minute I did that little ritual and did that spell or that petition and lit my candle, sure enough, the next day, I got a phone call, or my husband did, and the person said, hey, I'd be interested in your project. I'll come out and look at everything. Probably about 2 weeks later, I had a deck built, and I have a nice deck right now. So that may seem mundane, but that's okay. That's what I wanted. It's what I needed. It doesn't have to be something big and fancy. I mean, that's the purpose of all this, to get things you want. Get a deck built, get your house remodeled, get the job you want. Get the bully in the office to stop bothering you, just anything. And the other thing to think about is your subject matter. Is it large? Is it small? And what I mean by that is, are you trying to work a petition or request for a large group, a large entity, a public figure, Or are you trying to work an outcome of something that's really big, it does affect you personally, but it's not you personally? And I know that sounds a little confusing, but a lot of times people want to do things that may affect change in the world or affect change in a large group, to do something or not do something. And then there's the small, and that means you're looking at things that affect you personally. A friendship, trying to get a boyfriend or girlfriend to pay attention to you, trying to get a deck built, anything like that. Those are small and those are more personal. Now, you may ask, what's the difference? Well, the thing about it is when you're dealing with something on a very large level that's really, really big, that may be a little bit tricky to work out. It may not work. It might take a long time to work, or it may work out a little bit differently than you had expected, and it may be okay, it's just different than what you expected. Something smaller is probably a little bit easier to manipulate spiritually, because it's very personal, it's very tight, it's just a very personal thing. And the reason I say working out spiritually is because in the spirit world we have angels, demons, you can call it an energetic force of the deities, you can call it the cosmic intelligence, God, whatever. In that spiritual world, there are entities that are the architects of the universe. And they go around working your bidding, if they can make that work. And why I say that is because if you're dealing with larger entities and bigger groups, those spirits have to, I guess, architecturalize more. It's a crazy word, but they have to do more. They have to have more consideration of what they do. There's just more involvement going on than trying to work out something that's small just for you and someone else, you in a particular situation. So in the spirit world, when they're trying to design something or make something work, there's just a lot more to consider when you're dealing with something bigger and with more people involved or a type of person involved, as opposed to you and a buddy, or you and a coworker, you and a lover, you and something else. And some may be harder, and you also have to consider what kind of path those other people are on. It's not all about you. Sometimes all of that creation and all of the ways the spirits work, they have to consider not only you, they have to also consider that person. Maybe they have sacred contracts they're supposed to fulfill. Maybe they're supposed to learn something, just like you are. So when something doesn't work, that may be the reason. They couldn't fit it together smoothly, because when these spirits work, all these things that you think are coincidence or just luck, there was something behind that. And some things are just easier to manipulate than others. Just like when you do something in your own mundane world, certain things are easier to design or do than others. Certain projects are easier to do than others. It's the way it is in the spirit world too. So I hope this helps with this little conversation about petitions, spells, finding one that works, how to work it, what options you have, and why it may or may not work. Tell me your experiences below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoy these videos, you can always click the bell and subscribe and hear more. And you can always email me at sdarkwood@gmail.com and let me know what you're thinking, or if you have a question, maybe I can do a video about it. So I hope everybody has a good week, and practice your magic, practice your power, and see what you come up with.